I know we've only known each other for 4 weeks and 3 days, but to me, it seems like 9 weeks and 5 days.
All right, all right, all right. Welcome, all of you passionate plant people and garden enthusiasts to the Sunday edition of the Let's Get Growing show. My name's Enoch. I'm your host today, and today is not going to be a regular Sunday edition of the show. That's for sure. We're just going to pretty much hang out today. This was actually supposed to be a planned day off I was telling you all about last week. And because I knew ahead of time that I was going to need a weekend day to take care of what I needed to do. And as it got closer, I realized more so it was going to have to be Saturday instead of Sunday. And so I had to make a switch and do some things. So we postponed yesterday's show, and now I'm here just basically to hang out with all of you. We don't have any guests for this weekend, basically. So maybe what I'll do is, and I was just thinking about this. I was emailing with Jay just a little bit ago, and I was thinking maybe what we'll do is something like we've done before. I'll toss out the show link, maybe see if anybody wants to join in and jump in and have a little gardening conversation today. If not, we can talk about whatever topics you guys might like to talk about. So definitely, if you are here, like I say all the time at the top of the show, click that like button for sure, subscribe and share, but jump into the chat there as well too, and drop in some topics, use comments, questions, all that sort of stuff are great, but give me some topics too. Let's talk about some things, and we'll just basically hang out today. That'll be really fun. So like I said, I had basically tried to plan this out, and it just worked out the way it did. And the other real unfortunate thing is, and I don't know if you guys can tell already too, but and it was actually back last Sunday, before last Sunday's show got started. As I was preparing for the show, I could kind of feel it. It was just very faint. It was just kind of like in the back of my head, back of my throat, that sort of thing. But all of a sudden, I was like, wait a minute, I think something's coming on. By the middle of last Sunday's show, I was like, okay, wait a minute. And I did my best to kind of go along like nothing's going on and all of that, but I could feel it. I was like, wait a minute, something is about to hit me. And that's basically what happened this week. By Monday, I was just laid out. I mean, just it just really got a hold of me good this week. And so and when I get sick like this, man, I get really unproductive. It's been a really unproductive week. So other than getting what I needed to get done yesterday, you know, I'm just trying to get through all of this. I feel little bit better, and I say little bit by maybe a 10-15% better than what I was yesterday, and that was probably 10-15% better than, and so it's progressively getting better. So that's really good ultimately, but it did not make for a very fun week, that's for sure. I just was pretty much laid out, just a really burning cough, just one of those ones that just really burns. It was just, it's rough. It's been rough. And again, like I said, I just one of those people. You know what I mean? You hear about it all the time. I'm one of those guys. I'm one of those guys. I get sick, and next thing you know, I'm whining and crying, and just curled up and can't do nothing because I'm just too sick. And yeah, so anyways, I'm here. We're gonna make it through today. Everything's gonna be just fine. But just a regular old kind of hangout for us, just like the old days right here on the Urban Gardener channel. We're just going to hang out today, talk about whatever you guys want to talk about here. Let me get in real quick. Um, let's see here. Let's get in to the comments here. Sorry, everybody. And again, too, this is kind of how it's going to be, too. I'm going to be a little bit more slower on the trigger today as well. So But we'll get by. And thank you so much, everybody, really too, for coming and hanging out with me today, and those of you yesterday too, who and I got to see after it was like later on in the day, but I went back and looked and I saw, man, you guys got on and had a really great, decent conversation. That was really kind of fun to see. Was that, even though I'm not here, you guys still can get together and hang out and have a fun conversation. And I saw you all did that yesterday on basically the show link. So it's just basically a regular show without a show, and all you guys can do is just get there and chat and everything. And I saw everybody was just chatting it up yesterday. I thought that was just really, really awesome. We're getting quite a good, awesome community growing right here on the Let's Get Growing show. And that really showed yesterday. So really, really awesome to see that, everybody. All right, let's see. Of course, we had David in there. Good morning, David. Good to see you. Awesome. Bowtie Life in the Garden. Right on, right on. I see John Jude is in here as well, too. Yeah, there we are. He's in here. What was this? I'm going. I went way back real quick. I'm just going back for a minute here. So I was like, I'm so sorry. These are really late on some of these, but I just kind of wanted to go through it. David said, Puxatawny Phil, the groundhog said 6 more weeks. Oh my, oh my. I heard that it's only about 30 some percent, low 30% that they're actually correct on some of that stuff. So that's interesting. Yeah, better shot with a coin toss. And Adam, of course. Thanks, Adam, for joining with us here. We've got DLR8978 here. Awesome. We got, of course, Jay. Awesome. I'm sure maybe here, if I drop in the link for everybody here too, I'm sure at some point in time, maybe we'll get to talk with Jay here as well too throughout our showtime today. But thanks again, Jay, for dropping in with us there from Midwestern Ontario. Great to have you here. Thanks for being in the conversation. All right. I was asking if Jay was feeling better this week, and that's what I was kind of thinking of. I was like, oh man, I had Jay on last Saturday. She jumped in to fill out our first segment of the Saturday show, and she wasn't feeling very well. And so the next day on Sunday, when I started feeling it, I was like, wait a minute, did Jay pass something along to me through the through the show, which of course can't happen, but really something crazy that actually happened like that. Hi, Leslie. Awesome to see you here. Thanks for joining with us. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Right on. I'm just kind of trying to skim through here and make sure we're welcoming everybody into the show. We got Rick joining us from the future down there in Australia right now, the summertime Australia. And actually Monday too. We're here on Sunday. He's here with us on Monday. Right on. Yeah, Groundhog Day. Exactly. Excellent. I see Mill Creek's in the house. Awesome. Great to see you here. In fact, what I'll have to do, I thought about doing that, Mill Creek, is I did get that mushroom kit started up, and I noticed that it's growing. It's over here where I don't really see it most of the time, but I was just looking earlier and I saw that it's growing right now. Maybe what I'll do is we'll take a break here in just a little bit. During that break, I'll just run around and I'll grab that and maybe show it off to everybody here in just a little bit too. I should have got that ready. I thought about that before I was getting the show, but I was kind of really in a hurry to get some things together, so I didn't grab it up. But I did think about that. So good to see you, Mill Creek, and awesome. I'll show that mushroom off here in just a little bit. Jersey Girl, great to have you here. Thank you so much for being with us. Yep. Yeah, thank you so much. Exactly. Me too. Like I said, I'm a whiner. I'm one of those guys who gets sick, and I got nobody to whine to either, other than my cat. So it doesn't really matter, anyways. But this is just the way it goes for me. Big Will Dog in the soil. Awesome to see you. Awesome, great to have you here. Excellent. And let's see. I think I'm making it through here. making it through here. Big Will Dog says, these fall springs are spoiling me. The cold isn't done here. Yeah, exactly. I feel the same way. It's the same here. In fact, we might even actually see some snow. They were projecting some possibility of snow, but for where I live in the valley, if we do see it, it'll probably just be the show, kind of like just the fireworks. We get to see the snow. It'll come down, it'll hit the ground, and then by the next morning, it'll be all gone. So, you know, Mill Creek says, ooh, can't wait to see it. Yeah. It's all, I think it's just getting going. It's really cool. So all right, excellent. So let's see here. Let me get this here. Like I said, we're just kind of hanging out today. This isn't a normal show, so um, bear with me a bit here today, everybody. And like I said, if you guys have anything you want to talk about, I was thinking maybe we could talk about, it's something I'm in the process of right now, is getting seeds started. Everybody else is, lots of people. This is where we're kind of at right now. We've been ordering seeds over the last several weeks as we've been getting all of our seed catalogs and all that sort of stuff. And now I've got some that I'm actually getting sown out. Peppers are actually starting to pop out. I see a bunch of little pepper plants just off in the distance over there. And so they're getting going. I'm getting ready to start seeding out some other things as well. We'll be doing some tomatoes here in another couple weeks. Eggplant is what I'm going to get going next. I got a couple of really cool, fun varieties of eggplant and a bunch of different stuff as I'm getting ready to get started. I think after this kind of next little cold snap, what I'm going to do is I'm going to really start getting outdoors, really start to reestablish all of the greens. I want to get my lettuces back going. I want to get maybe some carrots and stuff sown out and things like that we can start getting going while it's still a little bit cooler out. But it's really just hard to believe it's February already. And we're just, things are just moving right along so far. Let's see here. Right on. Mill Creek says, I got my Sarah's seed order in last week. Love it. Excellent. That's awesome. Thanks for supporting Sarah's seeds as well, too. But yeah, there's another great place. If you need to get some seeds, go over to sarahseedshop.com and go get some seeds from her. And again, you won't find a better deal. She don't need to have discount codes or anything like that. She gives you a really good deal, 75 cents a packet, and you get more seeds in that 75-cent packet than you'll get even in an MI Gardner packet of theirs. You know what I mean? And I don't want to like put MI Gardner down either. I mean, I really think they're great as well too, but Sarah still got them beat out when it comes down to value, when it comes down to essential garden seeds. So check that out. Excellent. And Jay put a link there in the comments too. There's a link also down in the description for everybody as well too, if you want to go support Sarah at sarahseedshop.com and get some of those great seeds. All right. And let's see here. Rick was saying, has everyone done their onion seeds? And good point, good thing. And I'm going to tell you something. I usually do get my onion seeds again too started right around this similar time, sometimes even just a little bit before my pepper seeds. But I don't know what I was really so glued on so many other things and doing stuff. I didn't really get to them yet. And so that is really like the thing that's what I'm going to be getting sown out for sure, probably this afternoon. I was just looking around, and again, too, this comes down to my week. Last week on the show, we talked with Jenna from Growfully with Jenna, and she was talking, and we talked and touched on a little bit about onion seeds and that sort of stuff. And she was saying that she gets her onion seeds started back in December, sometimes early December, to get them going for the season. And I was thinking, I usually get mine started really early too, and I didn't, so it was kind of a reminder for me. And then of course I get sick this week, and it just totally goes over my head. So it is like kind of priority number one as far as seed sowing for me right now, is to get my onion seeds going. And we should still be good though. We should still be good. There'll just be like one or two maybe less haircuts that they're going to get before they get out into the garden. but that's kind of what we were touching on was getting them sown out indoors, letting them grow, and then when they get to a certain height, I would say about 5-6 inches maybe, when they get to about a certain height, we cut them back, let them grow back up to that height again, maybe just a little bit longer, and then cut them back. And then after, it only takes it takes a few cuttings before it's time to get them out into the garden space when the soil temperature warms up a little bit, and so we should be still good. I'm gonna just get them going as soon as possible. So it is time right now. If you got onion seeds to get going, definitely want to get them going soon. And yeah, hopefully. And again, you want to also think about where you are too, in what kind of onion you're going to be growing, versus there's long day versus short day, and then there's intermediates, which kind of grow. I can do intermediates where I'm at, so I got a little bit of flexibility for me where I live, and the onions I can grow, but some places, if you're a little more north, you're going to need, I believe, I might have it backwards. Don't count. If anybody knows better, definitely jump into the chat. But I would say if you're more north, it's going to be long day, and then if you're more south, it's going to be short day, is what I believe. And correct me if I'm wrong there for sure. But yeah, all right, excellent. Yeah, so definitely going to get that going. Seed starting, all that sort of stuff. Are there any other sort of things that you're looking to get started at this time of year? And again, this really does matter again too. We're all over the place, there's international audience. Rick's in here, from Australia. He's in the middle of his summertime right now. And we got folks in Europe watching and listening, and they're kind of riding along around with us and everything. But depending on where, how north, how south you are, your climate, all that sort of stuff is kind of, is kind of where you are in deciding when and how you're going to start a lot of things. So if you're more north, you might still have some weeks left to think about some stuff, because it's still going to be frozen for a while. The snow's going to be on the ground for a while. So maybe that's the case. So then for those who are in this more southern regions, and definitely well past time for anybody in Australia, like I said, they're in the middle of summer. But for more southern regions, they're already on top of things, man. They're already growing stuff. Things are already actually growing out in their gardens in some places, depending on where you live again too. And that can be, there's places that it just snowed in like Texas and other places as well. So that's so we're still, it's still winter time, so we still got time to think about some things if we haven't gotten started yet. Yeah. Let's see here. Darth X says, yeah, it's going to be cold this week in the Pacific Northwest. Yeah, it's going to be a cold dip for us. I'm not real. I guess you would say I'm at the very bottom of the Pacific Northwest. When it comes down to it, at the very bottom. I still like to include myself in the Pacific Northwest. That's kind of my home region, if you would say. I was born there, raised mostly, and so the Pacific Northwest. But I'm really kind of a lot more south when it comes down to it. So our region is even a little bit differently than, say, those who are more up in, say, northern Oregon, up into Washington, which is definitely, Washington's the centerpiece of the Pacific Northwest. But yeah, so it's going to be cold for us. It's still going to be cold down here in southern Oregon as well too. Okay, let me figure this out. I'll get to talking and I'll get to spacing off, especially the way I feel right now. I'm telling you, I've got cold head or whatever it is, flu head. I'm not even sure. I didn't even take any tests or anything either. So whatever, it's something though. It was kind of brutal there for a couple of days. Let's see. I'm gonna copy that. Now that's copied. Let's get back in here. All right. Dave says down in Florida, we have nothing but upper 60s and 70s for the next 2 weeks. Yeah, that's pretty. I could deal with that. I could deal with that. Yeah. It says polar vortex and atmospheric river moves in second half of February. Yeah, that was one of the things. If it's not snow, they said that we're going to get quite a bit of precipitation. So we'll see how it goes. We haven't seen any snow yet at all where I live in the valley. This, and again, too, there's a still possibility in the next couple of days. We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening with that, and then and then as it starts warming up, I'm not sure. I mean, this is kind of the latest. I haven't seen any snow. We usually see some sort of flurries or some sort of thing or whatever, but where I'm at in the valley, I haven't seen or noticed anything yet. Let's see. Robin Gardens in the chat there as well too. Hello, hello. Winter weather advisory, 34 degrees, gray and snowy. Yeah, man, 34. Ooh, ooh. I've spent a lot of years in some very cold places. I went to high school in Alaska. Been to some pretty cold places and lived through some pretty cold stuff. And 34 and cold and snowy just doesn't sound very fun to me. Rick says they got floods in Townsville, Queensland, Northern Australia. Wow. Floods. Yikes. Yeah, it's just that time of year. It's that kind of time for weather all over for everybody. Jersey Girl says we're warming up this week over there in Jersey. Yeah, so I guess maybe we're kind of switching off then. East Coast is going to warm up while the West Coast gets real cold. Right on, right on. Okay. So now we've done this before. I don't know if anybody, if you got a channel or something you want to promote or something like that, or if you want to get on and talk about something you're growing or something like that. This is just kind of, it's just, thinking about this just before the show is that we could do what I've done before on some of these open discussion days is I'll throw out the link in the comments here, and you guys can click that link and pop on and say hi to everybody if you want. I mean, I know there's a lot of shy people out there, and then there's also some who have before. And if you have before, you can just jump on and say hi for a few minutes or something. And that's, it's just kind of an open discussion today. So, and maybe like maybe like I said, maybe you have a channel, you have a little channel, and maybe we can talk about your channel or something, and kind of give a little shout out or something like that. But yeah, so here we go. I'm going to pop that link into the chat there for you, everybody. So, like I said, don't be shy. If you don't be shy, you can just pop into there. I'll see you in the studio here, and I can pop you into the conversation. Let's see. I better make sure I got the. Let's get the. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. That'll work. Rick says it's 102 degrees Fahrenheit expected in Sydney on Friday. Wow. Wow. I'm telling you again, and I'm one of these guys too, as well. I've shared this before. I love hot weather. I'm a hot weather person. So, you get up into the hundreds. I can, I do like a couple of days. Dip into it for a couple of days isn't too bad. I like a nice hot day or two. But you get in the hundreds, that can start to wear you down a little bit. But man, I'll take 90s all the time, man. 80s is the good comfort zone for everything. If I could live in the 80s all the time, that would be perfect. but I like some good hot weather. And I'm sure thinking about that right about now. And that's what's great about having friends in Australia too that can share what it's like. And right on, right on. Mill Creek was putting in a nice little recipe right here. A flu bomb. We got 1 clover crushed garlic, quarter teaspoon ginger, 1 drop eucalyptus oil, 1/8 top of cayenne pepper, or is that a cup or teaspoon maybe, tablespoon, teaspoon of cayenne pepper, juice of 1 lemon, 1 tablespoon of honey, 8 ounces of hot water. Boom. That sounds like it might do the job for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have to get that a try for sure. And Mill Creek says 1/8 teaspoon cayennes. No problem. No problem. Talking about the future. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Right. Right on, right on, right on. Excellent, excellent. So yeah, any of you guys got some seeds started already for your gardens? What kind of garden seeds have you been going? Have you been starting your pepper seeds? Do you start them and grow them indoors? Do you? Jersey Girl says, in the hundreds is hot. Yeah, it is hot. My summer average is 85, 91. Yeah, 85, 91, I think, is the sweet spot for a good, nice, warm weather for most people and all that. But I'll push it. I'm a 90s guy. I just, yeah, I like good, warm weather. I'm ready for it. I am ready for it for sure. Let's see. Rick was saying that before Christmas he thought he had the flu, but it was COVID. Uh, all right. Simplified Gardening. Tony, how you doing? Right on, right on. Just hanging out here today. We're just kind of having an open discussion. Anybody can jump in. I did put the link in. In fact, I'll do that one more time. And just kind of having an open discussion day. And I'm sharing the show link with everybody if they want to drop in and say hi, have a little discussion here on the show. We'll give everybody a few minutes to have a little chat or talk or something. I already see I've got one taker already so far. And we did talk with Jay, so Jay might pop on a little bit later in the show as well too. We'll see, so maybe we'll talk with her as well. And then again, like I said, if you're free, if you want for a good 5-10 minutes or so or whatever, just depending if anybody else gets in line, you know what I mean. If anybody else gets in line, then we'll move on to someone else. Uh, uh, but we can have a nice little discussion if you want, and do that. So again, good to see you, Tony. Thanks for jumping in. And real kind of recap of why it's just a regular general discussion day here. We're just kind of this weekend just kind of went. It was one of those ones where I didn't plan ahead for one day. I planned Sunday. I told everybody about that last week that we weren't going to be here on Sunday, and ended up being Saturday that I was going to need to have off. So I had to postpone some things and move some things around, just a little bit of shuffling around, and then so I could take the weekend off. But at the same time, the way I was feeling yesterday, which again was just a little bit better than the day before, but it was not. I was not show ready for sure. So in some way, everything kind of worked out because I don't know, I don't know how it would have went. Things were getting kind of hazy for me last Sunday as I was feeling it coming on and everything. But yeah, right on, right on. And okay, right on. Well, let's see here. Let's do this real quick here. I want to make sure that do something like that. And then let's welcome in our first victim of the day, who's who's totally ready, I'm sure. Let's pop him in here real quick. We got our man David from Bowtie Life in the Garden joining
Hey,
us
y'all.
on the show today. How you doing today, David? Great to see you.
Doing all right. How you doing? Can you hear me fine?
I can hear you. I can hear you. That's great. Can everybody else hear David all right?
I'll warm up the microphone for anybody else, but there better be a few more takers.
Right, right, exactly. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, maybe someone else will jump on. Get someone else
Yeah,
in
come
here
on in here,
as
Tony.
well
Come
too.
talk to me.
Maybe yeah, Mill Creek, come and talk about some things if you
Oh,
want.
Mill Creek. I tell
I
you
think
what.
I
I
think
think.
Tony said that he couldn't today, but that's all right. It's always good to have him in the chat though. Absolutely, absolutely. But anybody else, no problem. Just like Dave. Dave will tell you right here. It's not too bad. I don't bite too hard. I know Jay said I don't bite at all, but it ain't too hard. So how things been going? How are you doing?
Oh,
You've been feeling
it's
all right?
going.
You've been making it through winter all right?
Yeah, we're surviving. We're deep into this home remodel, which is kind of putting the kibosh on getting seeds in the soil and a bunch of stuff. But I got a bunch of turmeric planted out there that I'm excited to see if it'll come up.
Oh, right. An experiment then, huh?
Yeah, totally. Turmeric is beautiful, and
Yeah.
I didn't realize how beautiful it was until this year. This is my third year growing it, or last year
Yeah.
was. Wow, beautiful.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I've yet to try growing any. I should do that for sure. It's not that hard, is it?
It really is. It's a set it and forget it. Think of ginger,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and I say this all the time. Ginger takes a while to come up. Turmeric takes forever. It's always
Right.
slower. You put them both in, the turmeric just takes longer.
Tony says, at least it's not loofah. You're the loofah
Oh,
man this year, that's for sure, huh, dude?
I was totally. Oh my goodness, that was. It was. That stuff grew 40 feet in every direction. It covered a lot of my garden. It covered a lot of my backyard neighbor's garden. But
Yeah.
he and I have just loved doing the stuff like this. A year before was his birdhouse gourds, and
Mm,
this year I kind of one upped him. But we talked about the loofah for 2 years, so
yeah.
it was not a surprise. We knew it was going to do something, not that, but we knew it was going to do something big.
Right, right. Yeah, they can surprise you. You give them the right conditions, man. Those can just yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. About how many fruit you think you got off of it?
we got over 500, and they range from
Wow.
the edible ones, which are much smaller. We
Yeah,
figure we probably got about 60 edible ones, to over 2 feet long, big monsters that just could not believe um,
yeah,
what came out. I mean, it just is amazing. It's the most prolific thing I've ever grown.
yeah, yeah. Now you got them all dried out. I mean,
I've got two bins out there. They're sorted.
you go
One
hit
bin
up
is
one of your
good stuff.
local farmers markets. Be
Yeah,
the
in
be
fact,
the loofah sponge guy.
my
You
bee
gotta
guy wants me to get into his booth. In fact, he's there right now
oh
as we
yeah,
speak. But I don't know. It just sounds
consign
like
me to
another
him.
stress.
Just cut them out, set them up, put a little thing, put your own card in a little one of those scanner things, QR codes.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, and then just have them set them out and sell them out for you. There you go.
I'll tell you what. You stick a 3/4 inch dowel up inside them, and they make this great shower loofah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There you go.
Or you cut them up.
Get you
We've been
back with
using.
it, right?
Yeah,
Get you
oh,
back with
I
it.
tell you what, they make a back scratch that's just to die for.
We all need one, right? Oh
Oh yeah,
man.
we both. Mrs. Bowtie has one, and I have one, and we'll be there in the morning drinking our coffee. Going, it feels so.
Right? No doubt. Oh, I can imagine that. That would be great. Yeah. I've got I
Yeah,
you give
I see.
definitely You definitely
ahead.
get to a point when you're smart enough in your adult life to make sure you've got back scratchers in several different parts of the house and all of that,
Yeah.
because you never know when it's gonna, oh, and then you're scrambling to find one. So
Uh,
you got it. Yeah, they're very important
I tell
things.
you
So
what, there's nothing
I can imagine those would be a really good one for sure.
big time. Oh my goodness, I never imagined how good a loofah would feel. Ugh,
Yeah, yeah. Let's see here. He says, "What you need a long one to floss? Use it as like floss, maybe."
I don't know.
I haven't thought about that. That's an interesting
Maybe
thought
a
for
small one.
sure.
Brush your teeth. I bet you they'd make a good toothbrush. It's all natural. I don't know.
Right, exactly.
I'll tell you what, though, we use it over by the sink, and I've had the same three over there for 2 months now. And we stick them in the dishwasher, clean them when they're getting a little junky. Just drop them in the
Yeah,
dishwasher. They come out just fine, and they dry out nice and hard again. two
yeah, yeah,
months.
yeah. I've got a few that I'm still using that I grew from the season before.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they're really great. Actually, I was so surprised when I finally got to grow my. It took me a couple seasons before I could get a good plant growing, and because they would just die on me earlier. I think I was just the wrong spot. Until I got one a good head start a couple seasons ago, and then it grew right all up my fence,
Yeah.
just the way I pictured it. It was really
Oh
great.
yeah.
And then but I didn't get very many fruit either, but I did get a couple of really good, decent ones. And I was able to dry them out. And again, I still got some of the sponges from those, and they're just really, really awesome. And it really doesn't take very much for any single person. So to what I grew that one season
Yeah.
was probably plenty for me well, I think I'm going to grow, so try it again this next season and all of that, but only every other season or something for someone if
Yeah.
I'm looking for it as far as something I'm going to use personally. But again, like I said, if you got people to share them with, or maybe again you end up with as many as you do, like I said, you can definitely market them at this point, make a
We
few
we
bucks.
gave we gave a ton away. We have a monthly home group from our church that meets here at the house, and I think we gave away 30 or 40 then. And as far as that right there, sticking them in the dishwasher, it's what we do, and
Yeah,
it works great because they come out smelling fresh. And even after they've got a little moldy, they sat on the sink a little too long. Stick them on the Hey Rob, stick them in the back sink. They get moldy. You drop them in the dishwasher, and they just clean right out. I think I figured out what Tony was talking about flossing. That's another area of cleaning the body that a loofah might be good for.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Right on. Yeah,
Are you talking
exactly.
about the backside, Tony? Is that what I'm shooting?
Right on, right on. Excellent, excellent. So I see we got another person in the backstage already. That's awesome, awesome. So we'll give you we'll get that other person on here in just a couple more minutes here. But again, too, that's kind of what we're doing today. We're kind of hanging out with each other. I kind of really enjoyed the last time we did this. The first time
Yeah.
there was I think it was just me and Jay pretty much, and I think Adam maybe or something. I can't remember, but we've had a few takers each time we've done this, a few more each time, so it's fun. We get to hang out with each other, get to see you guys have a fun conversation all the time while I'm doing the show and everything. So in a way, it's kind of good to have a day like this where it can be a little more relaxed, just kind of a relaxed sick day, and hang out with all my friends here, and then have you guys on with me, and kind of everybody can see you, and you can get a chance to see each other as well too. Is where, like I said, we're really building up a really great community here on the show.
Absolutely.
And it's really, thanks to folks like yourself, David, and everybody else that are in the conversation right now, who come and spend your time with me each and every weekend and help make this show better and better each and every week. It just seems to get better and better, and I really, really appreciate all of that. I just appreciate your time and coming and taking part of all of this.
Well, I got to say, Enoch, I really enjoy your format that you're doing here, and the fact that you've introduced these kind of chats in has been just very cool. I've enjoyed seeing everyone else that gets on here. I do have a message for the season, though, and I don't know if anybody saw my segment on Chad's over at Down Home Backyard Gardening. I do a little bit of a collaboration with him, but the big thing that I'm working on and growing in the garden is mercy and patience.
Yeah,
Not getting those seeds in, just getting anxious, trying to, okay, deep breath. let's get those things in the middle of February when I'm supposed to,
Right.
and
Yeah, that is another thing I didn't mention, everybody, is we got to watch out for a bit of anxiousness as well,
yeah,
too. Sometimes we should be just waiting a little bit, you know,
yeah,
and it's hard to do. It is so hard to do.
it is. It really is. But it's for me, I'm very susceptible to stress and anxiety, and
Mhm.
anytime I can give myself that extra breath of fresh air, okay, slow down. There's nothing wrong here. You know, I've planted my hot peppers as late as July 22nd.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
they're the ones there, the 23 that are out there in
Yep.
my Florida room right now. A lot of those
Mhm.
were planted on July 22nd of 2022. Still
Yeah.
living, by the way, still producing.
Right,
Um,
right. Well, you got
you know,
the benefit of living down there in Florida where you can grow peppers practically as
yeah,
perennials. So,
yeah. Well,
you
they
know,
have to
but if
be
I mean
overwintered.
others, but other folks more northern can find ways to bring them indoors and
Absolutely.
do some overwintering things, especially if you've got a variety you really want to keep a hold of and that sort of thing as well too. Some people have some special varieties, so yeah, keeping them going for a couple of seasons is a good
Absolutely.
idea to do. Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm doing, Tony. I'm going to put two seeds in a hole, and one of them's coming or next to each other, and one of them's coming out. We're going one. If you see my garden tours, the big arch trellis in the front yard is going to be the loofah trellises next year. The yellow flowers on them are just gorgeous. I mean, beyond amazing,
Yeah.
beyond amazing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They certainly are for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Right on, right on. Well, I see that we also have another. Okay, right on. We're getting a line here. This is
All
awesome,
right.
guys.
Good
Excellent,
deal.
excellent. So, yeah, thank you, David, for taking the time here today and jumping in on the chat with
Anytime.
us here. And let's see here. This is how this also works too. So we're on the fly here. So
By the way, I've got my wooden bow tie on today. It's
it's a
laser
wooden bow
etched.
tie.
It's laser etched paisleys, and I actually have a tying bow tie that matches this, same pattern, completely by accident. But a friend of mine found me this. This is one of my favorite ties. You
Right.
don't see this one very often.
Yeah, yeah. Excellent.
Sorry, go ahead. Let's get the
Not a
next
problem.
victim in
I
here.
love it. I love it. I love the bow
Yeah,
ties. I love the whole thing. It's really great. And again, too, I don't know if Jay has yet or not, but maybe we can ask Jay real quick too, if she could drop in a link there too to David's channel for us into the chat for
she
anybody
has
else
once.
who. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So if anybody hasn't yet, try to get that link there too, and go give David a subscribe and go check out one of his recent videos and go leave him a comment and let him know you saw him here on the Let's Get Growing show. Definitely, definitely, for sure. Thanks again so much, David, for joining with us here today on the show. It was great to have you here. And again, everybody, again, well, I'll see you in a minute. I'll get on here. Again, like I said, I'm free flowing today. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Oh, whoops. No,
Ooh,
again, too, like I
hey,
said,
look at there. It's
it's
me.
only you now. You're the host, David. Thank you. All right, all right. So much fun there. So much fun. Right on, right on. Again, I'm pushing all sorts of stuff right here too. I'm all over the place when it comes down to it. But yeah, we got a couple more waiting in the wings here too. So we're going to keep the conversation moving along here. I did see that we got Shawnee Grows in the conversation here. Oh, I thought I clicked it. There we are. There we are. Good to see you. Good day. Good day. And like I said, everybody, we are having kind of a fun discussion chat day today. And I'm inviting all of you who are listening in on the show. I know we've had a few people who've joined in a little bit later. And I know, Rob, we've kind of tried to push you a few times, but maybe I'm going to put the link right in again one more time here real quick for everybody. And if you want to have a couple of minutes here to join in the conversation on today's show, I'd love to talk with you here. Like I said, I've got a couple of more waiting here in line, sort of like talk radio, except for we're like talk video. So we've got a couple of callers on the line right now, and we're going to get to them real quick here real soon. And yeah, so again, really fun. This is so much fun, and I really appreciate David for jumping on. I appreciate our next guest for jumping on here real quick here. Make sure. All right, all right. Let's do this and then this, and we'll bring our next guest on here we've got Julian with us here. Big Will Dog. We've got In the Soil. I did this real quick, so I just put In the Soil, but there we are.
You're
Big
fine.
Will. How we doing? How we doing today, man? Good to see you again.
I'm good.
Doing good, right on. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for being brave enough to jump back on again with us today. That was awesome. It's great to see you last time. Good to see you today.
Yeah, you too. Like I said, getting teased here with all this warm weather. I wish it was permanent, but it's not.
Right. Yeah. Getting kind of those fake springs, kind of like looks like it's going to be good. That's where and two. You can see as well, and it's happened to me the last couple of seasons because we had like this warm up in January, and just right out in kind of some of my alleyway gardens, I can see some of the like crocuses, little bulb flowers are already starting to pop up because they think it's starting to warm up outside, and then here comes this cold snap that's about to happen, and they're about to find out real quick. It's not quite spring yet.
Yeah, and it doesn't really help my anxiety. I mean, I have anxiety period, but it doesn't help my planting anxiety because it's like you feel that weather and it's like, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. Tony just mentioned right now too. That's where the patience comes in. Exactly, right. And that's
I'm not good with patience. You can ask my wife. She's right over there watching TV right now.
But really, I think it's a common trait of gardeners. I really do. We all kind of, I more and more I talk to people, I kind of find that to be a very similar type of trait that we all have, is this impatience when it comes down to getting our season going or getting gardening, starting, like I say, and starting seeds. There's some ones I like to get a good early start on, make sure I get an early good start on and all that. But then there's things like tomatoes right now, and I've been selecting all those out and getting them ready, but it's not quite time for me yet. I need to wait.
Even look at my tomato seeds. If I start looking at them, it's like, okay, they need to get it. No. Focus on my onions. I just started some cabbages. I think I started kohlrabi, my celery. So I'm trying to avoid looking at the stuff that I really, really want, like sweet peas and tomatoes, anything like that.
All the other stuff. And it really comes down to the stuff we can't have, right?
Yes.
Can't have it right now. I need to wait, but that means I want it right now.
Yes, because if I mess around for too long, next thing I know, I've got seeds in like little trays, and oh no, it's just not good for me.
Right. Exactly. Let's see here. 978 says, no reason you can't start some compact dwarf tomatoes and keep them indoors. Just saying. I know. Believe me, and I do have a couple of really good varieties, and I probably should just do that, right?
Well, I did that last year. Last year, I actually did a combination of, I overwintered some of my summer tomatoes, and so I had like this whole thing growing up on the side of my lights and everything, and then I had dwarf tomatoes, and it worked, but the thing was they just did not taste right. I was disappointed because I was looking for that flavor and it was just off, and it's because they weren't grown indoors.
Yeah
So I just decided not to do it this year.
Yeah I mean, I get that's pretty true. I mean, for some things, just kind of it really is what we put into them that really give them that good flavor, good, good rich soil, as we always talk about, that makes good delicious fruits.
Maybe I don't know enough. If I knew more about maybe hydroponics or something like that, maybe there's something I could tweak in maybe the nutrient recipe or the light schedule or something. But
did you get a chance to check out last Sunday's show?
Yes, I did. I always catch those Sunday shows.
Yeah. With we had Christopher and Mike on, and those guys both do hydroponics and all of that. Chris has been giving me a hard time for years about getting started doing that sort of stuff, so I really should. But
well, see, my problem is I'm still getting used to this whole YouTube thing and filming thing and editing, which is still kicking my butt.
Right.
And then you've got the worm bin, and then trying to figure out what projects so everything's not so disjointed. and whatnot. So it's just like I've got enough on my plate, and then I've got 2 dogs, which some of you may have seen, and their problems, and then everything else. It's like, yeah, my plate's kind of full, and I just keep adding things to it.
Yeah. Oh, let's see here. I think Jay's got a question for you, even right here. Let's see here. How are you feeling about your channel and doing videos? I know you were just talking about stressing out on doing some editing there, but you're
Yeah.
last time we were talking to you, you were just getting into, doing this sort of thing. How you feeling about it now?
I'm less worried about it. I think I trip over my words and repeat myself a little less than I used to do. I'm doing a very important skill that I think my wife is doing, which is learning how to edit myself.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's things where she just edits out and blanks out because it's not important. But I say it anyway. So yeah, I'm getting good at that.
Mm-hmm.
And just
self-editing has been a huge issue for me, even all these years in.
Yeah, it's still
I'll
hard.
take multiple takes with stuff because I'll be like, okay, no, I didn't want to say that, because I'm so unscripted when it comes down to it, and so I'll try to get everything in that I want to, and then sometimes I'll just go on and on about something I shouldn't. So there's these, and it still happens to me. Self-editing is tough to do. That's why it's probably good to have someone who can look in and go, okay, yeah, they're giving you that third person perspective and going, this probably doesn't need to be there. So that might be helpful.
I'm finding out that a lot with me when I'm cooking in the kitchen, when I'm doing it, my wife knows just to leave me alone. Or if she's cooking, don't call me in there because I tend to take it over.
Right.
Or I, when I'm working, I can get, especially when I feel pressured, like time crunch, because yes, there is a time crunch, whether or not you know it or not. If you've done videos, you look at your video thing and it says 7 days since last video, 9 days since last video. That kind of sucks. But when I start to get to there, I just was like, I don't need to talk to nobody about this. I'm just gonna do what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna edit. I'm gonna get it out, and then after that, you can talk to me about all you want.
Yeah. Tony says that's why I have to script. That's right. I know, I got to get better at it. Is the thing. I think that because that's kind of the next step for me. Really, is to start getting better at that. Because again, too, it comes down to it, and this is the one thing I criticize myself for a lot when I'm in the editing, and again, too, having to edit yourself isn't really that much fun.
No, it's not, because
especially when you're doing it. Especially when you're doing it third person, though, yourself, though, you're the third person, because you're on the screen, you're trying to look at what you're saying and that sort of stuff. And really, a lot of the times, the most self-criticism I have of what I'm doing is I'm not getting in everything I want to the way I want to, because being unscripted, again, kind of like I said before, I'll start going on about something and maybe doing a little bit more in this part when I should be focusing more on this part of what I'm saying, and so scripting would be better. It's just something I've tried. I don't know how maybe to work it best, because I whether it's a teleprompter or if you have it written in front of, or how to me, getting and conveying reading a script without it looking like I'm reading a script. You know what I mean?
I have to get on to somebody right now. Dave, the dogs are the problem, okay? The dogs are totally the problem. It's not me. If they would just listen to me and do what I tell them to do, it wouldn't be a problem. Nah.
That's right. But then expectations, right?
Yeah, but see, I tend to do better with my videos when I feel like I'm pressured, because when I feel like I have enough time, that's when I start ranting. Or if I have enough time, I feel I start to say something in one part of a video clip, but then when you get to a different part, you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't really fit there. It fits here. And then I have to start shuffling and cutting up the video to try to make it. And sometimes that's not the best thing for me. Sometimes it's just like, get in there, you need to do this, you need to do that, say this, and then work it out in the edit.
Absolutely. Yep, exactly. exactly. But again, like I said, it's more I'm trying to get better and better, and I feel like my skills doing and making videos or content in general, I need to step up, in my opinion, you know what I mean, for myself
Oh
personally.
yeah.
And scripting and doing that sort of stuff is, I think, that next thing. Tony was actually saying there too. He doesn't use a teleprompter. He says he has one and tried it, and you know, people hate it.
Yeah, I
So,
couldn't do that either. I mean, I could set up my iPad, and I mean, I just now got me a tripod, which is what I'm using right now. So
mhm.
hopefully, all the shaky stuff is a little bit better. But yeah, there's 100 things that I can point out in each one of the videos that I've brought up to other people. They're like, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
So
Shawnee
it's kind of
Gardens
hard.
was saying scripted is, and see, this is one of the things too. I was thinking maybe I would try is bullet points or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just kind of like, okay, keep me kind of in making sure I get, because that's the big one, is making sure I get everything in that I want to get in. You know, because then
Yes.
I'll take a take of something, and I'll be like, and then I'll think back to, I'll be like, oh no, I totally forgot this part of it. Or,
Yes.
oh. You know, so you know, that's
And
another thing.
that's where the
Bullet
chopping
points
it
in
up.
a way. That way I could kind of just see, like, maybe that maybe I'll give that a try. Maybe something just a
Yeah.
little off camera that I can kind of see or something like that.
See,
Uh,
if I
good
did do
idea,
scripted,
Johnny.
when I would go ahead and have to take something, it would be better because then I could just like, it'd be easier to edit on because then I'm like, okay, I know I'm saying these words. I need this part. This part is what I didn't like, and then still make it seem like it was
Yeah.
intentionally shot that way. But I, I, I will try. I will try to do better on that, but no promises.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think, and again too, I think that's the thing is, and I did this sort of thing. This was kind of the similar advice, you know, that I have for you, you know, or anyone else who is just jumping in or getting started, is to do exactly that. Just jump in and get started
Yeah.
and learn things as you go. And I've done that. Go back and look at, I mean, really, you can go back and look if you want and everything. I guess, you know, I don't know if I should be encouraging anybody. Go back and look at some of those early videos I did and all that. But you can see I was just jumping in. I had no clue what the heck I was doing. I had the hardest time even looking at a camera, thinking of it as looking at, you know, all of you out there. You know, that's something that takes a while to get used to, is the idea
Yeah.
that that camera isn't just a piece, an object or whatever. That's your audience. That's their person. That's who you're talking to. So you really got to
And
talk to it as if it's a person that you're trying to convey some sort of message to, and
yes.
that sort of thing. And that takes a while to get used to, though.
Yes. I'm still
Right
getting
on.
used to it. I
Right
mean,
on.
I'm sure you felt like I did, like that first video, that like my introduction video. I was like, oh, that's real good. That's real
Yeah.
good. And then now I'm looking like, oh God, I wish I would have done this and
Yeah.
done that.
But
And I
then,
was
but
like,
here's the thing: is now you get to do those and that for the next one,
yeah, yeah.
and for
And
the
but
next thing you do,
I
and you
feel
get to
like
carry that stuff along with you.
I feel like I lied though, because I was like, oh, I'm going to do limited editing and I'm not
Yeah,
doing
yeah, yeah,
this, and now I'm like doing half of that stuff already, and you
yeah,
know.
yeah. But
But it
now,
is what it is.
just do it. Let it be what it is, and have fun with it, man.
Yeah.
And again, too, you never know where it'll take you. And you know, next thing you know, you might have a gardening talk show on the weekends. You know, that blows.
Maybe.
Think about that. I just,
Maybe.
well, I mean, I'm just saying, it's just, you never know what kind of happens when you get doing something new and different, and where it'll take you. It
I
can
just
take you
thought,
a whole bunch of different adventures and things that you never expect. And I know
yeah,
that's exactly what happened to me, for sure.
yeah. I just thought about something. It's kind of stupid. It might even be slightly inappropriate, but it's like, oh, Dave likes talking so much. We can sort of kind of do like a what's that? The movie with God, can't see no evil, hear no evil. Hey,
Oh,
Dave,
right.
me and Dave could work something out. He can be, well, I don't know.
There you
He's
go.
old.
That sounds like a good collaboration right there.
He's old, so I don't know if he's see no evil or hear no evil. But whichever one he doesn't want to be, I'll be the other.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. You guys are so fun. That's so great. Yeah, yeah, that would be a great fun collaboration. In fact, wait a minute. Here, real quick. Well, let's do this just real quick. I know Dave is still back here real quick. Let's
Oh,
pop him.
is he really lurking in the background?
He's yeah, here we are. Let's pop him on real quick, just for a second. And then I swear, our next caller who we have on the line, I want you to know we're going to get to you right here in just a
There
minute.
we go.
What do you think of that, Dave? Does that sound like a fun collaboration?
Oh yeah, I just texted. I'm definitely the evil half.
Yeah.
Wait, we
Excellent.
both can't be the bad guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you are.
Oh,
Cover your
Lord.
face. You got to watch that screen.
So there is a recording of me doing an evil laugh at Disney.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah, in the library. I did it for a show, one of their little shows where they pull people out of the audience, and
Yeah.
I did the laugh, and people thought they always put a ringer in those shows. People thought I was the ringer after my laugh, but I inherited this laugh from my dad. My brother has it too, but they thought I was the ringer, and the guy standing next to me, to my left, was actually the ringer. He was the stunt man in the show, and he came up like he was just someone watching. But yeah, I'm definitely the evil one. I will be posting video in May. We are doing the pirate party, and you have not seen my pirate yet. You do not You'll notice this is starting to get longer. It's
Okay.
part of that.
I'm working on it then, huh? Excellent.
It's like, right, Captain.
Oh yeah, we'll have to do a competition here and see who's evil.
Excellent.
See,
Excellent. Yeah, I think you guys should
Serena was
work on to do that.
Serena was asking, any plans to do a live? I would, but even with Dave, I could see it going off the rails immediately.
Yeah. There would be no rails. It's just kind of heading off out over the wilderness.
Right. Yeah, for sure. It would be fun. You guys do it. I swear. Just like we were talking about, man. Just have
We
some fun.
need a lion.
That's all I'm
tamer
really
like
doing
you,
here, is just trying to have some fun.
We need you as a lion tamer.
Oh, okay.
We need someone to direct us, keep us on a path or something. I don't know.
Right.
I did a live stream once at 7 a.m. and
Or
I was
J-Bot.
basically, that would be great. She would be a fantastic lion tamer. I just kind of did my morning 7 a.m. walk through the garden as a live stream one morning, and Mrs. Bowtie actually commented in there, and she was the only person that saw it live.
Right on. Excellent. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna get moving. I know we got someone else. Like I said, this is like one of those call-in radio shows. We got live callers in the background. We got
Off the rails already.
Waiting in the wings. So we're
Great
having
meeting you, Will.
You too, Dave.
Absolutely. Yeah. Think about getting a hold of each other too. Do something kind of you guys could work a video.
We are
collaboration where you guys.
We are in talks already.
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Sounds awesome.
Nothing to tease right now, but we've chatted a few times.
Yes, we are.
Excellent. That sounds awesome. I look forward to it. You definitely share with me when it comes time for sure.
Will do.
All right. Well, we're gonna let you go there, and thanks again for dropping in with us today and joining in the conversation. And it's always good to talk to you. It's always great to see you in the conversation in the chat. So thanks again for coming in and hanging out with us. Each and every weekend here. It's just really awesome.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Right on. We'll see you again soon.
Yep.
All right. Excellent. Like I said, man, we're having a fun little conversation today. I mean, I'm not always surprised about how fun this can be and all that. I was just, again, I thinking, I'm not feeling that well for one. So that was kind of one of those, how's today going to go? I'm not feeling all into it, but man, you guys got me lifted up, man. I'm having some fun here today. We're having some great conversation, talking about all sorts of stuff. It doesn't, just whatever. We're just kind of free flowing today. It's just really, really awesome. And again, thank you everybody else too who's in the chat as well too. And let's see here. Oh, 978 said, you're a great conversationalist. Doesn't matter if no one joins the live. Oh, well, I appreciate that. I thank you so much. I'm just a yapper and a talker. Using my mouth and just keep on going and going. Ask anybody who really talks to me. So I can just keep on going and going all day long, actually, sometimes. So I guess all you got to do is just kind of get me revved up and set me off, and I'm rolling. Right on, right on. So again, like I said, it's casual chat today. Let's see if this works again today. It's still, I'm gonna pop this in one more time into the chat for everybody as we're getting going here. A link right here to join with us here on the show. Just click that link there. It'll load up your video and your audio, and you'll drop into the backstage here, and you'll get a different view of what the show looks like from the backstage viewpoint. I know our next guest has been watching and seeing the backstage for a little while now. I really appreciate her hanging on here. Let's see here. I want to actually do this real quick though. So give me one more moment. Try to get this done. Hope I got that right. Let's see if I got that right. Let's drop in and see. We've got Robin Gardens. Is this correct?
Yes.
Perfect.
It is.
Excellent. Awesome. Thank you for jumping in. And I think this is our first time having a chat. Have you been in on the show chat before? I know the
I
name's
have never. Well, I've watched.
watched, but not okay. Good. Okay, then I'm right then, because I was going to say sounds like kind of a newer name, but maybe I've seen before. But great for you. Thanks for jumping in and saying hi with us today. How are you doing?
Hi, Tony. I'm doing well.
Excellent. So Robin Gardens, and I haven't had a chance to check out at all. This is a channel you do as well, or is this just for being on YouTube?
I have a channel and YouTube, and I also have an Instagram account. Both of them are Robin Gardens.
Excellent. I'm sure Jay will get working on that for us there, and we'll get a link put into the chat for everybody. Go check out Robin's channel.
She did it a little earlier.
See, I'm behind on all this. I know she's already on top of this stuff. I shouldn't even worry about it.
So I'll give you a little background. I garden in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. I garden in raised beds. Most of them are stone with an edge on them. I had them built so that I could age with my garden gracefully.
Yes.
And it was the best investment that I ever made. Big project for this year is I'm going to replace a old cinder block bed with Birdie's beds. So we've got 7 of those to build coming up. That's going to add some space to the garden, so that'll be nice. But I'm able to produce about 40% of what we eat in the backyard.
Oh man, that's a good number. Really well done. So are you mostly raised beds? Mostly raised beds. Yeah.
I have some fruit, 2 cherry trees, a mulberry tree, strawberries and blueberries, gooseberries, currants, that kind of thing. Those are all in ground.
Yeah.
So, I dip my toes in a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Excellent. That's awesome. Yeah, I do too as well, but mostly mine's kind of like, I've got my raised beds. I've got like elevated raised beds, because we've got like a cemented patio that I garden on. We got a little bit of in-ground space, so I can kind of dip my toes in some of the in-ground stuff, but mostly that and containers and stuff like that. Do you do some container gardening as well?
I sure do. I actually found that moving the blueberries to pots this past year has really made them come on. So, sometimes there's a good application for it. It's great for the potatoes too. I did those for the first time. All these years of gardening, and I'd never done potatoes. And now I'll never not do potatoes because, oh my goodness, the flavor. The flavor is amazing.
Isn't it amazing? You don't even think about it with some things, but it goes in general with most anything. You grow it yourself or grow it fresh, organically in your own garden. Man, the flavor is always better, isn't it? That goes for potatoes too.
Absolutely.
You watch Tony's channel, Simplify Gardening?
Oh yeah.
He's a teacher,
that's for sure.
Yeah, he's the potato guy. You need to know anything for sure.
The other thing that I'm really into is saving seed. That's very important to me. I belong to the Door County Seed Library, and
Nice.
they do a big giveaway every spring through the 8 libraries that they have in Door County. I happen to be in Door County right now at the Door
Where's
County
that at?
House.
Door County is
That's in
where at?
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Okay, yes, absolutely.
So I'm not in Chicago right now, but that I was able to pack over 900 packs of seeds for the library this year.
Oh, nice.
And that's just from my little backyard.
Yeah, I pack up seeds for a giveaway I do when I go down to the National Heirloom Exposition, and I only do like, maybe 300-400. That's a lot. 900 is a lot. That's a good amount of seed packets for sure. I know this.
Well, sometimes it's the growing too, because
Mm.
I don't begrudge it at all, but when you're waiting for them to ripen and they're getting near the end, and it gets really, really hard because you just want to rip them out and put something else in to grow.
Right. Yeah, that is, again too, that is the trade-off though when it comes to seed collecting, and is the space and be able to transfer onto something else. So there is a sacrifice there in some senses when it comes down to it, because again, it's going to take the time, all that other time that something else could be growing in there for it to produce its seed head and all that. But with certain things, I mean, so that's why certain things I'll grow from fresh seed that I'll just get and purchase each and every year. And then there's just some things that just makes too much sense to save and grow the seed and take up the space and make that trade-off.
Well, it acclimatizes to your own yard too, and it just
Mhm.
gets better and better.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing too. Yeah, you're working to change those genetics season after season, that you grow it and save the seed, grow it, save the seed. Those seeds are basically learning, the its own best growing practices in your climate. So it's amazing. Seeds are amazing. In fact, I should mention this too right now. This is what our book is about. We're checking out Jennifer Jewell's book, What We Sow, for our monthly gardening book club. I don't know if you heard of our monthly gardening book club, Robin.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
So
sure
we're
have.
checking out. Yeah, so every third Sunday of the month, we get together with my friend Mark Boucher Colbert, and he's a garden educator up in Portland, Oregon, and we co-host together a fun gardening conversation about a certain book each month. And this month's book is What We Sow. So we're thinking all about seeds coming up and talking all about seeds this next Sunday after next. I think next Sunday would be the second Sunday, so we'll have Gardner Scott on with us next Sunday. So that'll be the Sunday after we'll be going and doing the book club. So that'll be so much fun.
It is. It's fun to learn. It's addictive after you get started.
Yeah.
And now, some of them are really laborious, let's face it, to remove the chaff from. And some of them are tough because they're 2 years, like celery. You can't save the seed until the next year. So
Right.
it's just fun. But I think I started probably with flowers, saving
Yeah.
flower seeds, snapdragons, things that are really easy to save.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then just went on from there.
Yeah. Flowers are really they seem like that's a good natural starter place for seed saving, is flowers, just flowers in general, and then moving on and learning. And, it's just learning that process and learning the whole process of growing a plant and all of that is also really beneficial too. So sometimes just growing something to seed and collect seed, just so you can kind of understand and work through that process in one season, is just kind of fun to do, even if it's something you don't intend to do on a regular season to season basis with any particular variety or crop. But it's just kind of a good thing to kind of learn that plant's process in a way too as well.
It's a good skill to have, and it's amazing how much seed can be produced from one plant,
Mm-hmm.
and then the
Yeah.
next plant, how little seed is produced. And then you understand, why the pricing is different.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I always share with everybody one of my favorite, I love multi-purpose plants, especially in the seed saving process. So one of my favorites is radishes.
Mhm.
So I mean, I love radishes. Fresh radishes out of the garden are just amazing. But I'll let a couple of each variety go to seed. Like I got a globe variety, I got the French breakfast variety. So I'll let, a handful of each of them to, go to seed, some of the best ones, the biggest ones, because I want the best ones to take seed from. I want the strongest, best genes. So I'll let them go. But the cool thing with radishes is you let them go to flower and then they produce their little flower pods. And if you get enough of those plants, that's a whole nother crop. So you've got the crop of radishes you start with, and then you got a whole nother crop, which you can save these little radish seed pods, nice and young. They're tender, crisp, juicy, sweet, and have that radish flavor. And you can save up a bunch of those as well. And then you just have like one or two plants, because like you're saying, it's amazing how much seed you can get from one plant. So you harvest all this seed pods from most of them, and then like one plant per variety you let go fully to seed and collect those seeds for use for your next go around. But I love that sort of thing too as well too. So there's some things like that, and I wouldn't have figured that out hadn't I not tried growing that seed process and learned a little bit more about how a radish grows and what it does and what it has to offer, by taking that on.
Well, that little seed pod has such an interesting, sharp flavor, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's an interesting flavor, and I just love them, man. It's literally one of my favorite things I get out of the garden every year, and it's
What is
just
your
this
favorite radish?
just the secondary thing. French breakfast is my favorite for
It's your
sure.
favorite.
I just,
That's a
I
good
just love that one. Yeah, I've been growing it a lot, and from seed too. It's just one of those ones that, I've grown year in and year out of my garden from seed that I've collected from my garden too. So radishes are great too, because you not only can you grow them for the radish itself, but the radish greens are awesome. So they're very multi-purpose. You can get a whole nother crop. There's a third crop you can get from them. You get those radish greens and everything too as well, which have a pretty decent flavor to them as well if you get them nice and young.
Mhm. I've not
Yeah.
taken advantage of the greens.
Yeah.
In the spring, in the Chicago area, it's sort of, are we going to have one or not? Sometimes we just go from winter to summer, and
Oh
then
yeah.
the radishes just want to bolt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you're on to those next things right away, and that happens to me sometimes too. I try to succession plant them over weeks, so I'll do like maybe 4 or 5 weeks in a row where I'll just kind of do a little row,
Mhm.
and then the next week do another little row, and try to hopefully one of those is going to be the best producer, and some of them aren't going to be, and hopefully in there we get a good producer of them. And then if not, then like I said, we'll go on to that next thing. We'll get greens off of them, or we'll go to when they start bolting. Like I said, if the heat starts kicking in real quick, which happened the year before last, more so. Last year wasn't as bad, but the year before last was like that was what it was. It was winter and then it was summer, and everything bolted just right away on me. I didn't have much of a cool season garden.
That's tough to plan for, so you just
Mhm.
have
Roll
to
with the
deal with
punches.
it. Yeah.
Roll with the climate punches, right?
Yeah, I've used little strips of shade cloth over the top to try to keep them from bolting, because like you, I love radishes.
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
them, love them. French breakfast is probably my favorite. I like one called watermelon. That's a little
Ooh, yeah.
harder because they take uh, much longer than, like your French breakfast or your
Yeah, more like the
curly girl
daikons and
globe or
stuff.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's one of the things I love about radishes too. I think those are great ones too for kids. If you want to teach kids gardening and get kids into gardening, radishes are a great start too because of how fast they are. kids they want results. They want to see things happening. And with radishes, you can really take them through a real process, right within a month. Just 4 weeks, they can watch that whole process really quick and really absorb it. So radishes are a great one for getting kids and teaching them about gardening and growing as well too, just because of how fast they are.
Those little Tom Thumb peas are another good one for kids, because they only get probably 12, maybe 16 inches tall, and they flower and fruit up fast.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And they're tasty.
Yeah, peas, beans, those sort of things. They're pretty quick to grow and get going. So those are always good for kids. Right on. So you got anything? What's going on in the garden this year? You got anything new you're planning on, or something you're thinking about this year?
Oh, I always have to have new things, because that's the fun. I'm going to do stevia for the first time.
Okay.
So I'm excited about that.
From seed too?
From seed.
Okay.
I pretty much do everything from seed. I'm not opposed to going to the nursery for a plant start, but they don't always have a whole lot of interesting choices.
Yeah. And you got to be careful. I would never buy like big box store starts. I would never do that. But if you can find a good local nursery that's got good starts and got some stuff that's started locally, and because they put more care into that stuff, it's a lot of varieties that are meant for what you can do and grow. That's the way to go if you got to do starts. I know some gardeners are just so busy that the seed starting process just doesn't work out, so they got to get starts from certain places and stuff too. But
Sure.
I mentioned that because I've grown stevia before, but it was, again, from a nursery pot plant. It was one of those ones that was kind of like, okay, I got to try it. So I took it anyways.
I think I'm doing about half tomatoes that I did last year, and half new. And one of the new ones that I'm doing is Principa Borghese. It's for sun drying. So I like to dehydrate, and so I'm excited about that one. And one of my friends up here said she actually likes them as a tomato salad. And I thought, oh, wow, okay, double bonus. I was just anticipating that they were going to be really dry and, because it's such a good dehydrator. Oh,
Right.
Talking about dehydrating, last year I did Anaheim peppers, and I dehydrated those and turned them into a powder. And I took the ribs out and the seeds, which is where it carries most of its heat.
Yeah.
And man, that's a powerhouse right there. You can add that to anything, and it's just flavor. A grilled cheese sandwich, make a nice cheddar cheese grilled cheese sandwich and sprinkle this Anaheim pepper powder on there.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Like, hey.
I don't know if I got Anaheims on the list this year. I know I got some seeds, but I did grow them last year. But that would be something I'll have to try that for sure. That sounds great.
It's very flavorful.
Not one that I would think of powdering, because usually I powder like the hotter ones, just so you can kind of regulate a little bit. Just add a little bit of powder.
They were just, they were coming in like off of one plant. Literally, I would pick 20 at a time. It was just a crazy producer.
Yeah, I can't wait for peppers. It's one of my favorite things to grow. I can see them actually right now. They're like right in front of me in the light station, and I got a bunch of little starts popping up and getting ready to go. So I'm really excited about pepper season this year. And that's another thing too for everybody else who's watching too as well, is I'm going to be doing basically a pepper series this year. So I'm covering how the peppers grow throughout the whole season and that sort of thing, and kind of how my whole process I've used over the years to grow the different peppers. And we'll do some rooftop gardening in the, towards the end and all that. Just all sorts of stuff. We're gonna have fun with it this year, make a cool little pepper growing series this year. So we're getting that started. I put the first couple of videos out already. If you haven't seen those, definitely go check those out at our on our YouTube homepage there, as well as our video page, and you can see some of those things and see some of the varieties we're growing. I talked about that already and everything. And then coming up in our next video, we're going to be sowing them out, and then the next one we'll talk about the light station. So we're going to go through the whole thing, and I'm going to tell you all about all of that sort of stuff. So if you haven't checked those out, you'll definitely want to go and check those out too, if you like growing peppers as much as I do.
Have
Right
you
on.
done any paprikas?
No, I haven't done paprika either. That's another good one as well. I should probably do.
I grew Alma paprika last year, and this year I think I got one called Hungarian.
Right.
And I'm
Grown
excited about that. I'd love to, hook up with somebody who has a smoker. Doesn't that just sound
Ooh,
awesome?
some smoked peppers. Yeah. That would be good. Exactly.
Maybe I'll have to invest in a smoker this year.
Right. Because that does sound good. That sounds good. Smoke them and then dehydrate them.
Yeah. Oh
There you
man, that
go.
sounds great.
That would be good as well too, huh? Right on. See, now I'm thinking about that. That might be a really good idea, actually. In fact, I got a neighbor who's got a smoker, so I'm set there. I need a dehydrator.
There you
That's
go.
what I need. I don't have a dehydrator. I haven't done. Yeah.
I invested in that when they went on sale one year in the spring. I got myself a 9-tray Excalibur, and I have never looked back. It's just such an awesome way to preserve food.
Yeah. Let's see here. Rob was asking, Hungarian hot wax pepper. Is that the one you're talking about?
I think it might be. It was one labeled Hungarian good for paprika. So
right, yeah.
So what are you
Excellent.
growing new this year?
Ooh, new stuff. Well, new really is just kind of more things, not necessarily what I'm growing this year. I'm sure there's going to be a few things that'll pop in as we go, especially as I get to rework my herb garden. So I'm sure there's going to be some new herbs and some new things that'll be added to that. And I'm not sure exactly what it'll be yet until we really start to dig it up and get going. So we're going to get rid of a whole bush that I have out there that's just annoyed me for years and years and years, but I never had any authority to get rid of it. And now I have a new owner here over the last couple of years, and he's like, "Go ahead, get rid of it." And I was like, "All right, we're gonna hook that thing up to his truck and yank it right out this year." So it's gonna be fun. So that's gonna clear up and open up the space for my herb garden really well. So I'm sure there's gonna be a bunch of really cool herbs and stuff that'll get put in there. And then what's new is kind of old as well for my channel. We're gonna go back up onto the roof. I have a carport, this flat rooftop that we used to do a pepper garden up there. And so I'm going to redo the pepper garden, and then we'll expand and maybe do a few other things as we move along into the coming seasons as well too. So I'm kind of excited about doing that as well too. So I kind of think of that as kind of new because it's something we haven't done for several years now. I think that's been about 4 or 5 years almost since we had to take those down. Yeah, we had those up there for years. I had owners before that never came by. I never saw them. I think they lived in a whole nother state or something, and came by one year for an inspection and noticed I was growing the peppers up on this carport rooftop, and we're like, "What?" And I'd been up there for years. They'd been up there for 3-4 years already, and they were like, "No, they maybe take them down." But now again, I got a new owner. He's like, "Go for it." So we're gonna put them back up there as well too. So really excited about that.
I remember you telling the story about that, and that's just so sad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Well, I mean, I even went as far as getting a contractor friend to come out and really just do a full-on inspection of the whole thing and everything. And he said for what I was doing and all of that, that there was just limited weight burying on the roof. There wasn't nothing to worry about with the water because it's a roof and it's built for the rain in the Pacific Northwest. So there were a lot of things that they were trying to say they thought were a problem with it. And really ultimately the biggest thing was, and I did offer them to like sign and make a waiver, was probably the physical, like me hurting myself physically, getting up and down from the roof or something too. So I think that ultimately was what really pushed them to just go ahead and say no ultimately when it came down to it. But I was like, I'll sign a waiver, I don't care, no liability for sure. But that, yeah, whatever. I told him the same thing. It was like my new neighbor or my new owner, and he's like, yeah, no problem. If that's what you want to do, that sounds great. So I'm on it. We're gonna do it. It's gonna be fun. Right on, right on. Well, again, too, we got I see we got more callers on the line. This has really been wonderful, really awesome today, and so great, Robin, to get to meet you in person. And I'm sure everybody else is really awesome. Again, too, it's so fun to do this too, because everybody gets a chance to see each other, chat and talk in the chat as we conversate. We have all these really great guests on the show and stuff. But to be able to have like, a day like this where we can get you guys on in person and hang out with me here and talk a little bit about gardening, and everybody else can meet you as well in person is really, really awesome. And I really appreciate you jumping on here and joining in with us, Robin.
Well, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. And if everybody has a chance, go check out Robin Gardens and go and check out a video or something kind of newer. Jump on there and leave a comment and say that you saw her here on the Let's Get Growing show. Right on, right on. Excellent. We'll see you in the chat and maybe again someday down the road. Thank you.
Awesome. That'd be wonderful.
Awesome. Right on, everybody. Excellent. Yeah, this is turning out great. This is really great. I should do this. We should do this. Plan this maybe a little bit more often. I said I was going to do that. Kind of thought about that a little bit as I was, looking into this year. And we ended the year this last year with a couple of great conversations with everybody like this, and I had so much fun. I was like, gotta remember to kind of plan that in to what we're doing this next year. And again, too, it also just kind of works as kind of a fill-in too, though, also, because you never know what's going to happen. Sort of like this weekend just kind of got upended just out of kind of nowhere, and which happens, you know what I mean? I can't avoid, not needing a weekend to do some things every now and then, which, just kind of happens. So I got to kind of roll with the punches there. And this is just kind of a really fun way for us to kind of fill in the time from our regular show and to get to hang out with each other and everything. So thank you everybody for showing up and just hanging out with me in general, and then for another, you who are jumping in to hang out with us on the chat. It's just really, really awesome. And like I said, we got more callers on the line, so we're going to keep the conversation moving along. And I think at this point in time, we're already moving in towards our later second hour now. So I think if anybody else does want to jump in, there's a link in there. Let's see, I don't know if I can put another one in there, but right now we got a couple of more in line right now, so I'm not sure how much more time we have. But if anybody else does want to jump in, go ahead. We'll try to fit you in and have a conversation. Who knows? Maybe we'll hang out just a little bit longer. It doesn't, we're just kind of free flowing today. So let's get moving along here. All right, another newbie here. I don't think we've talked to Shawnee Grows.
Hello. Yes, I am Shawnee Grows. Nice to meet you all.
Shawnee Grows. There we go. Again, too, so fun to put faces to the names that we get to see in the chat all the time.
Right.
This is really, really a great idea, huh?
I do very much enjoy it. I had to set up an impromptu little table in my room because I have a family and they live here. So during the day, I'm never on live streams or panels as a guest, but I just had to take this opportunity to come up here for this open panel chat and to just say hi to new faces.
That's just,
so,
thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll get interrupted and I'll have to go. So we'll just keep it short.
Oh yeah. Could happen, right? That's right. So Shawnee Grows, is that a channel, right?
I do have a channel. I started posting in, I think, August of 2024. So
Okay,
what
pretty
happened
good.
was I've been a gardener for 6 years. Since I became a mother, something just snaps in you and you go, "I must grow
Yeah,
food," right?
right.
I grew up with gardening as a child in the country with my mother. In 2024, her life was taken by cancer. So I am now gardening on her land. I inherited her garden and the acres that came with that. And so I've been able to freely put in little food forests with grocery row garden concepts like David the Good teaches. I was able to start a new space that I'm going to grow warm crops in this season that I put a cover crop in to experiment with that. We built a butterfly garden that is a memorial to her facing the west towards the sunset. We're going to see what survived that winter. I don't know if I planted the right stuff for my zone 4B 5A here in Minnesota. And then
Right.
we got the rain garden, the wildflower garden. I shopped an Earth Day sale and bought perennials, and I want to do it again every year, just add perennials as I go with trees.
Yes.
I did asparagus, of course, your strawberries, elderberry. I'm going to see if they
Oh
survived.
man, you are
It's
so on your way. That is,
it's been
yes, so much
exciting.
good stuff
We're
going.
going to start a new patch and I'm going to try and get watermelon to grow
That's
because we
good. There
have
you go.
like 150 days of frost-free
Mhm.
growing time.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try it, and I wanna not have a lot of weeds, so I have a plan to try and
Okay.
remedy weeds, and so you have to subscribe to the channel to see videos on what I'm
Yes,
gonna do to
we're gonna
handle
do
my
that.
watermelon patch.
Yes, we're gonna do that. Bless your heart for sure. Yeah, yeah, and that's just and Tony mentioned that too. Is also it's just great that you're kind of continuing that on and your mom's legacy in a sense too.
Yes.
And I just think that's really great. That's really new to you though too, and I'm sure the garden spaces and doing that sort of project is kind of helpful as well too, huh?
I have a big passion for gardening in general, but I
Hmm.
just spoke on a unique prepping about this last week about the mind and the body when it comes to gardening. Your
Yeah.
brain on gardening. It is my therapy. There is a
Hmm.
connection with the microbacterial, microscopic level of soil and your skin. There's things that happen with children when they build those mud pies, and it has everything to do with the soil for just five
Yeah.
minutes. It completely resets you from fight or flight into mend and befriend with people. It completely makes your day better. I encourage everyone to get your hands in the soil, get your feet in the soil, tell your neighbor to garden, start a club, start a free
Mm,
seed library,
yes.
encourage people to grow their own food.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And again, too, really, and I don't mention this very much too, and it's just really, and I talk because it's really difficult for me to talk about as well too. But and I mention it kind of vaguely in some senses too. One of the hardest things I've had to go through too was to see my daughter, who's probably you might be just a little older than you, maybe around your age, but she lost her mother as well too to
Mm,
cancer at a very young age too.
yeah,
And so this is something I know very well about about what it's like to have to go through that, or at least me personally in my own relationship, but to watch my daughter do that and stuff too. And really bless your heart for coming out of that and it being so new and everything as well too. So I just want to extend my condolences from being someone who really knows
yes.
what that's about
I
and why
chose
that is. So
gardening, that's for sure. I really hard into gardening instead of other ways,
I did too.
bad
I
ways,
did too.
Mhm.
Yep, I did too. In fact, it was one of the big parts of why, I needed it in a sense. I was, there were days I couldn't, I was confused, and things like
Yep.
that. And I would get, being able to hang out in the garden with those thoughts and feelings and those sort of things and work through them while
Mhm.
caring for plants and getting into nature. Like you said, getting your hand into the soil, feeling the earth, that sort of stuff is healing. And it is really, really healing. I truly believe it because I did it. I went through it, and you're also in the process of that as well too.
Right.
And that's so good to see.
Yeah, I have a 6, a 5, and a 3-year-old. And
Mm,
so we encouraged them. I showed their
mhm.
drawings on one of my live streams. I think it was called Planning the Garden or Garden Planning Checklist. And I
Yeah.
had them draw out their garden space on what they would plant, like if they had free range. And now that we have this land, because, okay, backstory, I
Go ahead.
am
Yeah.
in a rental home in
Okay.
town. And so I just started gardening. I didn't ask permission from the landlord, but we're trying to set ourselves up to get out of here. And so I've actually ripped out all of my gardens and we're just doing containers here on the home where I live. And everything I'm going to grow is at this offsite garden, my garden away from home.
Okay.
So now
Yep.
that I have this space, I told my oldest, who's 6, almost 7, I go, why don't you have your own chunk? You know, do you want 4 by 4? You want 8 by
Mhm.
6? Like, what do you want? And you get to take care of it. You get to plant your own seeds that you want because they help every year. It's so fun to see
Oh, yeah.
how they go from they just start pulling stuff out versus no, that's not ready to harvest yet. You must wait,
Yep.
you know how far the seed goes in, how much water it needs. They can identify plants. They teach the neighbor kids, oh, that's a raspberry plant, that's a carrot, that's a strawberry, you know. It's so beautiful to teach and garden alongside with your children.
Yeah, it is. And really, I think just really important for them, really in the long run. And I'm just one of those type of garden people where, to me, the garden is a place for all sorts of stuff, spirituality in a sense, also education,
Mhm.
connection with the world in a way that, we don't get in a regular modern society
Right.
that we need to kind of keep our kids attached to in some sort of
Hmm.
way. And what better way than to, take them along with us in a garden space as we ourselves are learning and getting and doing things as well too. So it's kind of like, a mutual collaboration with us and our children in the garden, right?
I love that I homeschool my children and it
Yeah.
gives us so much time to kind of focus on what they're hyper focused on. And sometimes it's gardening, sometimes it's not. It's this wonderful, beautiful opportunity that I will not regret, and that I have so much time with them, and hopefully when they are adults, you know, there'll be a
Yeah.
time where they don't garden, I'm sure, but
Yep.
then hopefully to see them take off with it again.
Yeah.
Having perennial flower bulbs that are gonna come up in the spring is my next most I can't wait to see that.
Hmm.
You know, your daffodils, tulips, crocus,
Yeah.
hyacinth. I just bombed a couple places out there, and
Oh,
I
good.
can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I was mentioning earlier, I already got some crocuses trying to pop up
Are
out
they
of the ground.
peeking?
They're
Oh.
peaking. Oh, they're more than peaking, it looks like too. They want to actually flower, it looks like here real soon. And I'm like, are you kidding me? We still got some dangerous weather ahead, but
Yes.
they're like us gardeners though. They're
Mhm.
anxious. They're anxious. They want to get going. They want to get the season going.
We don't have any snow in my part of Minnesota.
Oh, really? Wow.
It's
What
not
what part are
normal.
you in? What part of Minnesota
Uh,
are you?
Southern,
Southern.
so
Okay.
the warmer
Yeah.
part.
Right. Yeah.
And so I am nervous that things are gonna wake up when they shouldn't, because I'm predicting we're just gonna get snow in May because we've had that
Yeah.
happen before, and that's when we don't want it, right?
Right.
Because we could put things in the ground in April that are cold tolerant, that can handle the frost, but not if we're gonna get dumped on with snow. So there's that guessing game of take your soil temperatures, watch your forecast, follow your seed starting calendar.
Hmm.
Darth X, wow.
Yeah, snowdrops are blooming already.
Oh, DLR
Yep, yep.
978, you're in southern Minnesota too? Southeast.
Ah,
Wonderful.
there
I
you
just
go.
went to a indoor farmers market yesterday and it was magical. I didn't know they had such a thing. We had to drive a little bit of a ways, an hour to get there, but
Mhm.
I think that there are going to be situations where you're not growing your own food, and we don't have
Yes.
to list them why, but my next thing that I encourage people is then connect with others who do. It could
Yeah.
be as simple as someone on your block. It could be a CSA, a community supported agriculture bundle box. You could share it with someone where once a week, either you go to the farm or a pickup spot and you pay once a year this
Mhm.
bulk amount of money to have access to whatever's in season that week for the season. Like maybe they have it
Yeah.
June to October, you could get a box each week. Like look for those things. Look for your farmers market directory. You know, type in
Mhm.
your state, farmer's market near me. There'll be a directory. There'll be some for summer, some for winter. Like, please look for local food near you and eat seasonally.
Yeah. Yeah, that's such great advice. Such great advice. And again too, like you said, it could be is and this is one of the things I've been talking about a lot more lately is this idea of really bringing our community in around us on things, because like you said, maybe there's things that you or you don't have enough space for. Maybe it's something you don't grow very well, but maybe you got a neighbor who does, and maybe you guys can work together. You know what I mean? I'll grow a bunch of this if you grow a bunch of that, and then we'll both kind of do that. And then you can build these kind of neighborhood networks with people and do that sort of stuff locally, and building in a way what you're also doing too is just kind of building almost a larger micro farm out of a garden club.
Yeah.
And just there's just so many things we can do to kind of even take what we get from our garden to the next level, in our local towns, cities, wherever we live. And this is something I've been thinking a lot more about myself too, because I've been fortunate with sharing and doing stuff and everything through YouTube and online and all of that. And you got this great audience, I mean, all the way from Australia to Europe and everything.
Yeah.
But really, things are really about being local when it comes to stuff, especially for us gardeners. We'll find most of our success in that local gathering of our knowledge and expertise with other gardeners to be able to share with them, right? And then what we can grow and share with each other as far as what we get out of all of that too. And then in the long run, gardens offer so much that we don't think about.
Huge.
But then we're building this community of people around us now. That that enlightens us, that other than what we get from other parts of the world and society and all of that sort of stuff, which can be really heavy.
Yes.
And when things like that are more so, and the heavier they get, the more we need community, the more we need people that we can hang out with and talk to and understand really differences, and different. Again, too, I'll go on a massive tangent about this sort of stuff, but it's so
We all
true.
do.
It's so true when it comes down to it. The benefits and things we can do by building things out locally. About what we can do locally with people,
right.
and building good friends and stuff. Yeah, that's really good stuff. So there you go.
I'm gonna say goodbye. I have to check on the kids. Thank
Absolutely.
you for having me.
I hear them in the background.
Yes,
for sure.
I have to go.
Not a problem. Thank you, Shawnee, for joining with us here today. I really appreciate you making the time for us. And go check out Shawnee's channel there. Go subscribe, follow along, and see how that watermelon does.
Yeah.
And everything else. Thanks again. So great to see you.
Bye-bye.
Oh, 1 second. There we go. All right. Excellent. Again, too, really amazing. How awesome is that? Just more reasons to get out and grow and garden and do things that we think of, and then and more encouragement as we also hear about other people's stories and what and why they garden as well too. Just really love that conversation. That was just really awesome. Hopefully we'll get to see Shawnee some more in the chat as well down the road, and maybe back on the show. Who knows? Like I said, we'll try to do some more things like this. This has been really, really fun getting to hang out with everybody here today. We do got one more guest for you all today. One more guest coming right up here. I got to double check a couple of things first here. There we go. Got that all set. And Again, one more time real quick, though, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with me today here and just participate in this just general fun conversation. Again, I haven't been feeling too well. I caught something this last week, really kind of kicked my butt, as they would say, this last week and everything too. And then I had some things and issues. So we got kind of a lax weekend on Let's Get Growing show. We will be right back at it, and I'll talk a little bit more about that here in just a little bit, but we'll be right back at it next week. We got some great guests and everything lined up, but let's keep the conversation moving right along here. As we got one more special guest to talk to, and it's always great to talk to this guest. It's always great to see this guest in the conversation, facilitating our chat. We've got with us Jay Dixon, Let's Get Growing facilitator, and facilitator of many other live streams across the gardening community. We've got the J-Bot. Thanks for joining with us.
Hey, everybody.
Thanks again for joining with us again. I mean, you were just on last week, man. You're a regular guest now.
Well, I'm a very chatty person, and I love gardening, and I love gardening communities. So
Yep.
if you give me an opportunity to start what my loving partner refers to as the gardening blather, you have trouble even shutting it off from me. So
we know this. We know I'm the same way too. That's why I think we get along so well. You know, we get in these sometimes after show conversations. It's like, man, we'll just keep going on all day. Someone's got to cut someone off. In fact, someone's just got to shut this down.
Yes, we've had some back channel private conversations, and we're very chatty and enthusiastic people, and we almost need a power outage to shut us off so that we stop.
That's right. Tony here, actually, Tony, he's hey Jay, he knows as well too. You know, he'll hang out after show with me when he's on the show as well too, and he knows I'll keep on going and chatting and yapping. And this poor guy, he's over in England where it's, you know, getting, by the time we're ending the show, it's getting to be like 9-10 o'clock at night, and then hanging out. I mean, he gets out, you know, getting him into the late night. Poor fireman's got things to do and wake up for and everything.
Yes.
But yeah. Everybody knows I love to talk and everything too. That's why this is a natural fit for me doing the talk show.
One of the wonderful things about gardening communities in general, and this one specifically, is I noticed in the chat someone mentioned the idea of non-gardening people. When we start getting really enthusiastic about the gardening blather, is their eyes glazing over like, yeah, okay, here you're talking. Whereas what's beautiful, and I mentioned this briefly in the actual, you know, text-based chat area, is that we're all supporting and helping each other in our enthusiasms. When someone has a question, someone's doing the best that they know to be able to provide an answer, to help them be more successful in gardening, to make gardening easier. So luckily, we're all enthusiastic about gardening and supporting and helping each other and letting the non-gardeners have a little bit of peace for a while.
Exactly. We got to pull each other away and from all of the other poor folks who have to deal with us, right? And then gather together so that we can just go on and on and on about this stuff.
So what I find beautiful is that as time has gone by, we have built up a small community of people that one of the problems I'm starting to develop as a facilitator is I can't keep up with all of you. You guys are engaging with each other, supporting and helping, asking questions, being involved so much that I'm having trouble keeping up. And I am not complaining. I am just noting it as a fact that I love.
That's right. Yes. I mean, that is something too. It's really great that, like I said, that's what's been really fun about going into this new year is we're moving into this new year into January and everything. We're coming out of actually what was a really good year for us in the show. I mean, look at this. We're getting a really good audience every single week, having great conversation with each other. That when I can't show up on a Saturday, like yesterday, I went back and I looked at the show last night and looked at this conversation. You guys spent that couple of hours just hanging out with each other and having the conversation anyways. And that just goes to show you what kind of a community we're building here and how people are connecting with each other in such a positive way that even when the show isn't running, you guys can find time and an opportunity to be able to gather together and to enjoy talking with each other
Well,
about whatever in gardening.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, but one of the comments, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of multitasking here, so I can't say exactly who it was in the chat, but someone mentioned the idea of us doing some version of something like this maybe once a month so that the community members, you know, and some of them owning their own gardening channels or having their own gardening businesses can speak up and either possibly promote some of the stuff that's going on in their work right now and or just simply be a face and a name that we can all relate to. So maybe that's something that could happen.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'll look into it as we work into through this year and see what kind of things, because like I said, it's something I really enjoy doing. It's really, really been kind of fun, especially again too. I'll definitely be considering it more after today, because today's just been really awesome talking with everybody who's joined with us today. So I think it's, it's something we could definitely look at, because you're absolutely right. There's a lot of, it creates a good opportunity for a lot of really great smaller channels out there to be able to come on and just, kind of like a open mic night in a way, you know what I mean? Where you can just kind of come out and talk about whatever you got growing on and that sort of stuff. And so
it
yeah,
could
that's
be
really
a planned way, or it could be when we have a bit of a difficulty with some of the planned speakers, and then we promote maybe a day or two ahead and say, hey, we're going to have a fill-in day. Anyone
that's the bigger point. Yeah. And that's the bigger point, is because really this kind of comes up more impromptu, because it's just like everything just got shuffled in the last couple of days, you know what I mean, that sort of thing. So whereas we could start thinking maybe more something that's just planned ahead, really, you know what I mean, that people can just know ahead of time, like, okay, a couple weeks from now we're going to have one of these type of, so we'll try to work that in. But this is kind of what happens though, with a live show, is we're looking for something to do when the show doesn't work out normally, and this is a really great opportunity to do something like this for sure. But like you said, it's really impromptu, and then where people could really use a warning for other ones. So we'll work on maybe a little bit of both.
We'll see how things go. One thing I just want to note is, the theme on the top of this video is growing community through gardening. And I really love how that's developing and happening in our chat, in the regular people that come. It's pleasing me greatly that we are moving to another stage of this. One thing I'm going to mention is that other channels not only have videos, but they also have live streams. And to many of the small gardening educators, you showing up in whatever way you can to watch their videos all the way through, make comments, appear at their live streams, even briefly, whatever you can do to support them. Sometimes that's the last things that make them realize it's still worth going on. The effort that they're expending to do all of this is far, far more than you would ever think to do all of this. And even if 12 people, 14 people show up in their live streams, it's enough to know that they should still keep hanging on and making an effort. One of those I'm going to mention is that Gardener Scott, who is a regular here on this channel, and he will be appearing in, I think, about another week.
Next Sunday.
On the Sunday show. He does live streams Mondays about 50 weeks of the year. And he's going to be doing a special announcement tomorrow. So it would be nicer if we had a decent turnout for his live stream, which is at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm sorry, I don't know the times for everybody else. You'll have to
8 a.m. Pacific.
Okay.
All times in between and outside. But 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific.
So he's actually going to do a special announcement this week, but he's actually about to start having gardening guests as more of a regular thing on his channel. Normally it's just him. So we're going to be starting to see regular guests as well, besides the special announcement. That's in addition. So
definitely. So definitely look forward to seeing Scott next Sunday, but always every Monday morning, definitely go and check out his live stream as well too. And maybe you'll see me on that live stream coming up sometime.
Yes, that would be great. Fantastic.
That's right. Like John says, Scott is very knowledgeable. Yes,
it's actually very special that he's willing to commit to be such a regular guest for this show, because of the the breadth and depth of his knowledge is very special. And what's wonderful is when he appears here, his own show is often so busy that to get any kind of question answered or attention, he can only handle so much in the 90 minutes that he allots. But here, because we're a smaller channel with a smaller audience, your chances of getting his special attention and your question answered is way higher, like almost as if you had like a special expressway to his. And he really knows his stuff. So
Exactly. He really does. And you can't, I mean, there's very few things that you throw at him that he can't help you figure out. And for me though, too, he's one of those guys where, regularly, every second Sunday of the month, I've got to bring my A game. I got to be ready to go. We're going to talk some gardening and get into it. And I look forward to it though. To me, it's just one of those things where, I just love the conversation that we get to have. We just dig into whatever we can. And, and sometimes the discussion between the both of us can dig a little bit deeper into some of that knowledge, so sometimes he'll bring up something I'm not thinking about, or I'll bring up something he's not thinking about, and we can really dig into each of these different topics and stuff really great. So that's one of the things I think is really awesome about that kind of Q&A session, where you've got kind of two gardeners kind of tackling that sort of thing. It's just really kind of fun, and I have so much fun with him every time he's on.
Well, I've been actually helping facilitate on Gardener Scott's channel for years now. I'm not quite sure how many, but years plural. And a whole lot of topics have come up. But at one point, one topic came up, because there's different people who have different points of view about gardening, is that the topic came up of, do you have the right to discuss gardening if you're not a master gardener, or if you don't have certain qualifications? And we certainly have a whole range of people in our audience that have a whole range of different qualifications. In fact, for example, Simplify Gardening, Tony, who's present right now, he actually took formal training at a higher level regarding horticulture. So, what can you say to that? But one of the main points that when things started coming out where his channel got so busy, that I started moving from just moderating to actually facilitating and answering people's questions, was, did I have the right as a non-formally trained gardener to answer questions? And what Gardener Scott chose to say, and this was a couple of years ago, was Heidi, who is the other facilitator, and myself. He said he has never come across a situation where he's disagreed with any of the gardening advice we gave. And we're answering as much as we can, as rapidly as we can, but as correctly and properly as we can, even though we don't have that formal certification, training, et cetera, et cetera. So it depends how you get things. I'm extremely well motivated to try and move people on to other stages of gardening, to make gardening as enlightening and educational as possible. And I love that there are so many other gardening educators out there, and I'm trying to support and help them on their journeys to get the information that you need to yourself through them. And I'm going to help with that.
Yeah. There's, when it comes down to it too, in some ways, there's a lot of us can learn a lot without some formal education, through experience and all of that as well too, when it comes down to it. Other than, really is in master gardeners and those who, really dig into the books, understand a lot more in detail, the science of some of that sort of stuff. There's a lot of just really good basics to gardening. And I think that as we learn those and gain that knowledge of those sort of things, we start, and start seeing some successes, then we have something we can start passing on to other people. Share and share alike, when it comes down to it. It's just that if someone, is really, like, even to me, posing a question that's seems like they need a little bit more technical information than I'm capable of giving them, I know enough to be able to say, hey, this is kind of what I think, as what I've, this and that, but I would go check this out to be sure. You know what I mean? And that's just, when it comes down to it, when we're really getting technical about a lot of stuff about things. But so really in the long run, that's what is so fun about the gardening community, is our ability to be able to take our experiences and share them with each other, to, if anything, one of the biggest benefits I think we get, especially from any sort of YouTube gardener or anybody who's sharing online, what we love to have our guests, the kind of guests we have here on our show, is that it's the inspiration we get, more so sometimes, you know. I mean, it's what they're doing, and yeah, we're learning little bits of this and that. How it applies to us, you know, sometimes can be different based on climate, where we live. A lot of that stuff we talk about all the time, but really, you know, we follow along with a lot of these people, and we, you know, try to gain what we can from them. But the biggest thing really in the long run is just inspiration through community and this idea of sharing, you know. And that can be really powerful, and that's what we should be more concerned about, whether or not someone has real actual credentials in anything, you know, when it comes down to it.
Yes.
Yeah. But
So,
those people with credentials are important too, because there are some detailed stuff for us plant nerds who really got to know some of this real, you know, fine stuff sometimes. And we really need to be able to turn to some of those guys and to be able to, you know, have them be able to pass on some of that really great information to, you know, help us learn more. And they're always learning too.
I love to see that in our community, we have people from literal newbies of how do I stick a seed in soil, right through to people like Tony who are writing books, having been in YouTube for many years, many books. I mean, if you start looking into it, he's written dozens of books, dozens of books. And all that takes, let alone the videos, let alone, you know, supporting and helping the community in various ways.
I don't know how he does it all.
Well, actually, we were just having a little bit of a casual discussion in the chat about the fact that Tony and I appear to share a mindset where we are almost hungry for knowledge and experience. One of the things I said in the chat was I need 3 lifetimes to live and experience and do everything that I want to do. Yes, in whatever place. And for example, I've been quite unwell for the last 3 weeks, hopefully moving on, but unwell. And I love that there is still a way that I can help facilitate and support the gardening community, even though I'm really not functioning all that well. So by most people's standards, you know, I've been avoiding other people because I don't believe in giving and sharing whatever illness I've got, despite the theory of what I did to you. And so I've been staying at home and quite unwell, but yet still being able to do something to try and help the process of people learning more about gardening. And I'm trying to, that's why I came up with the term of facilitating, is I want to try and help make available possibilities for people to move on with their gardening education or experience. And I think that's probably enough. We've been chatting now for a couple of hours. We're moving into the third hour.
I know. Yeah.
I will not stop unless we cut me off soon.
No problem.
I do want to thank this community especially, though. I really love what's happening within this community so much.
Yes, me too. It's really great. And again, too, thank you all, you too, as well, because, you know, you really help. You know, I think a lot of what our chat here is built on some of the stuff that you've helped establish as well, too, with what we're doing on the live stream. And I really appreciate that every week whenever I see you in there, you know, just facilitating and making things happen and dropping in and making you know, or just giving that added benefit to what we do on our show is just so amazing. So I really appreciate all that you do as well too.
Super, thanks.
I'd
like everybody to stick around, even though we're going to finish with me now, because we will be promoting what's going to be happening in the next couple of weeks, and we'll be back to more formal shows.
Yeah. Right on. Let me see here. I'm just kind of doing this on the fly. I'm going to drop that. What we're going to do is I'm going to go to a break real quick here. I was talking about doing this just a little bit earlier. So I'm going to play our Sunday break real quick, and I'm going to go grab my mushroom kit that I got from Mill Creek, because I saw Mill Creek in the conversation there. So I'm going to go do that. Jay, thanks again. We'll see you in the chat, and see you again soon.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Let's Get Growing is sponsored by IV Organic.
Hi, my name is Charles Malky, biologist and plant expert with IV Organics, where we grow cool plants and author, saving the world with the home garden, Ivory Organic 3-in-1 Plant Guard has 7 natural oils that protect your plants, not just from the summer heat as well as winter cold, but also protects your plants from damaging insects and rodents. The oils in the product include castor, cinnamon, clove, garlic, peppermint, rosemary, and spearmint. These oils are natural insect and rodent repellent oils, which are encapsulated by the base powder, offering your plants months of protection at a time. 1 application per year will suffice for protection against damaging summer sunburn and winter sun scald, but if the target is pests, application as much as 2 to 3 times a year may be necessary.
All right. Here we are, everybody. Again, what a really great day today. This has just been a really, really fun Sunday. Again, I never know what to expect. I wasn't feeling all that well, and I was just like, okay, hope everything goes good. And then again, last minute again, too, thought of the idea of like just sharing the link with everybody again. And what a great idea that was, because we got to have some really great conversations with some really fun gardeners. We had Big Will Dog on earlier, David from Bowtie Life, Robin over Robin Garden, Shawnee Grows, Jay Dixon. Just what a great fun day. We all got to hang out with each other, and then just talk about whatever. It's just really kind of fun. So all right, so while we're on the break, I went and I grabbed this up, pulled the top off real quick just so I could kind of show this. Look at that. This is what I got it on this little tray here, but that's my lion's mane mushroom starting to grow out of my mushroom kit that I got from Mill Creek. Really, really cool. I'm not a big mushroom person. I never really have been, but I thought this would just be so fun and fascinating to do and to check out. And really just, it's been a fun process so far. And I'm really, really, really great. And again, from what I understand too, is that it'll continue growing some more. Maybe if you want, Mill Creek, you can talk a little bit about that there in the chat there with everybody, if anybody else is interested in getting one of those mushroom kits for themselves as well too. Let's see here. Right on. I'll make sure I'm keeping track of everything here. But right on, yeah. So again, everybody, thank you so much for being here today. We're kind of running a little late. Like I said, we got a little extra on the show today because, hey, why not, right? We're all getting to hang out with each other. And like I said, I'll just keep on talking anyways, but but that's just kind of the way it works, I guess, right? And let's see, Leslie says, this is rad. Yes, excellent, Shawnee Grows. What a great day. Excellent. Absolutely. Another great live. Awesome. Rob's on is like, it's getting ready for my bedtime again. Yeah, for you all who hang out with us in Europe, thank you so much for staying up late. Rick, joining in from Australia, thanks for getting up early on the next day as well. Mill Creek says, ooh, that looks great. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Look at that again there. That's pretty nice. Right on. It's kind of a fun little project, something cool to check out. And give me something new to try too, because I'm gonna give it a try as well too. So I'm gonna give it a try. Not, like I said, I'm not much of a mushroom person, but I'll give anything a try as well too. So like I'm eating the fun guy. Yeah, fun guy. Shawnee Gross says, I've never heard of Mill Creek. Yeah, Mill Creek. Yes, check them out. Let's get a link in there too. Maybe we get a link as well too. I'm sure Jay's on that as well. But it says pull that guy off the block and it will grow another. Right on. Real quick, how many will it grow, do you think? That's a good question. How many? And let's see here. And really, actually, my other question is, when do I know when it's fully grown? Let's see here. That's a good. I mean, now I'm asking questions of everybody out there though too. Anyways, but yeah, check that out. I don't know. We'll see. I'll get it figured out. But so I guess we'll just pull that off when it's time, and then it'll grow another one, maybe more after that. If I was reading, I think you can get. Oh yeah, there we are. Okay, real quick, 3 or 4 off of that block. So 3 or 4 different growth growings of the mushroom fruit. Excellent, excellent, awesome. So yeah, that's what I'll look to do. Oh yeah, so Shawnee's asked, yeah, same question. That's a question. When do I harvest before it poops spores all over? Uh-oh, uh-oh, I'm freezing. Am I back? Am I back? Okay, I'm back. Okay, gosh. The system is going to try to do that to me again. Aye. Let's hope that doesn't happen again. We'll finish up here in just a minute, though, too. Let's see here. Urban Gardener, Mill Creek, on camera to ask questions to get more advice. Yeah, I know. We'll have to get them on next time or something. Mill Creek says, when its teeth hang down, it's ready to harvest. So we'll look for the teeth to hang down. Okay. All right, perfect. And then, they also say that you can take your block, break it up, add it to some straw, and grow more. Wow, you can get a lot off of this stuff then. Right on, right on. Excellent, excellent. Right on, excellent. Okay, let's see. Serena is asking something here. Do you have grow mushrooms? How much? Yeah. Just this was my first time ever growing mushrooms. So this was the first try, first shot at doing any of it. Thanks again to Mill Creek for sending this out to me. I really appreciate this. It's been real fun to give this a shot. I can't wait to, kind of get it fully grown, give it a taste test myself and try it out. And then again, too, to see it grow again multiple times and everything as well, too. So again, that's really good, but really fun project. All right, everybody. Well, again, thank you all so much for joining with me here today for today's show. It's been really great to have you here with me, and be sure to come and check us out. We got lots and lots growing on in the coming weeks here on Let's Get Growing. I just confirmed, and I'm going to tease this out for next couple of weeks, but I got somebody really big that everybody in the gardening world knows. This is a person that everybody, you have to know this person too. And I'm going to tease it though too, but everybody knows this person. In fact, they were really, really a pioneer in a huge concept of gardening that we all really know well. And they're going to be on the show with us here coming up in the beginning of March. This was one of the ones just the other day. I just finally got it booked, and I'm really excited. So we got really some great guests still ahead coming up this year. So you'll definitely want to keep track, keep following along with us here for all of these just really amazing gardening conversations. Next week on the show, which was supposed to be this Saturday, we kind of moved some things around, but we just basically bumped it up, postponed our guest for next week on the show, Vikram Baliga on our Saturday show. The regular Saturday show will have Vikram Baliga, a professor at Texas Tech University and curator at the Plant Prof. We're going to have the professor. I think I titled it Professors in the House. So he actually really, some of the fun things he does in his social media and his content that he creates is getting on there and debunking some of this just weird and crazy gardening myths and fads and all of these different things that we see all the time that pop up and, just online all over the place. And he does a really great job with that stuff at the Plant Prof on Instagram, where he posts most regularly. He's on YouTube as well too. But he busted. So we're going to try to talk with him, maybe bring some of your favorite garden myths, some of those things that you really got a question about, or maybe a fad too. There's some of those funky fads. Have you seen some of those weird things that people do? They try to tell you that if you do this or put this together, it'll grow something, and it's just really just outrageous, So if you got any of those that you think are really kind of funny or interesting, definitely bring those to next Saturday's show with Vikram Baliga, professor at Texas Tech University from the Plant Plant Prof. Join with us for the Saturday show. And then, like we mentioned already today, for next Sunday edition show, it's the second Sunday of the month. And on the second Sunday of the month, we have with us our good friend Gardner Scott. Scott Wilson, Master Gardener Scott Wilson from the Gardner Scott channel, will be here to answer all of your gardening questions, anything and everything. We already kind of talked about this a little bit earlier there, but definitely be sure to come and bring all of your gardening questions. So on Saturday, bring all of your myths and fads, and we'll talk about those. And then on Sunday, bring all of your real garden questions to help you get the best garden this year growing, things that you really need to know or wondering about, maybe something from last year's garden that you need to change up or fix and you don't know quite what's going on. Bring that to our Sunday show next Sunday, and we'll have Gardner Scott with us to answer that for you as well too. And then, like I said, and as I mentioned too, here we've got our book club. I've got What We Sow from Jennifer Jewell. She'll be here on the third Sunday of the month, which will be the Sunday after next, for our monthly gardening book club. Our book this month is What We Sow. So far, it's just been a really great book. I saw Mark already put a post on his Instagram a little bit earlier. He's digging into it as well. So we'll have Jennifer Jewell on with us to talk all about her book coming up on the third Sunday of the month. So you won't want to miss out on that. And you still got time to maybe get a copy, get some quick reading in before that show, and you can bring some questions and thoughts about what you think of the book as well to our book club. And yeah, that's gonna be really, really fun. So again, like I said, lots and lots to look forward to. Thanks everybody for joining with me today. Before you leave, definitely click that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, bell notification to be notified of all of our upcoming videos and live streams, and definitely share with all of your friends. And check out all of our links down below in the description. Check out all of our other social media, links to any of our guests and all of that sort of stuff. No guest today, if you can, if you're here with us or you're checking this out and you got the live chat there, lots of links for lots of different channels, lots of that sort of stuff throughout the show there. So again, check out all these great people who hung out with us and took their time today. So again, thank you all so much. I really, really appreciate you all. Today was so much fun, and I look forward to seeing all of you this next Saturday. Hopefully I'm feeling better. I mean, I think we will be, but I'll see you then for sure.